So, a few days ago, I was flipping through Netflix, and it was about 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, and, I was just kind of wanting to watch a movie, and I came across this film called I Saw the Devil. And, I've been seeing it on Netflix a lot. Every time I flip through something, I see it, and I also see that it had almost a perfect 5 out of 5, which is really rare to see on Netflix for any movie. So I was like, what the heck? So I turned it on, and it's a Japanese film, so there are subtitles on this.
I go and flip through Netflix ever so often, and I have never seen this movie. I've never seen it once come up. I never came across it. Never even heard of it until Dave told me, go watch this movie.
So I had no idea what it was. I thought it was a possession film, something about, because, I Saw the Devil, and sort of the cover of it even sort of looked like maybe it could be a possession movie. I thought, wait a minute, I have an expert right here on possession films. So I'm going to go ahead and watch this film and get my expert opinion on it. But actually, it's not an exorcism film.
No, and it's actually not that much of a horror film either.
Oh, it's definitely a horror film. I mean, it's definitely a horror film.
No.
I consider torture and violence and, what is every Halloween film or every Friday the 13th film? I mean, what does Jason do, Vince? He just goes out and kills people. I mean, that's a horror film, so this would technically be a horror movie.
It's more like a bloody thriller.
Yeah, but again, it's about a serial killer, and it's a horror film. It's 100% horror movie.
It reminded me more of, like, Silence of the Lambs.
Silence of the Lambs is 100% a horror movie, Vince.
More of a thriller than it is a horror movie.
But anyone who goes and eats people, Vince, and wears other people's skin is a horror movie.
Donuts.
Basically what the film is, it's a serial killer film. It's about a guy who's a serial killer who ends up killing this woman right in the beginning of the film, and he pretty much picked on the wrong woman to kill this time because her boyfriend was sort of a secret agent, and he was educated in martial arts and every other weapon and way to kill people.
He was Storm Shadow.
Yeah, the actor that played this character was Storm Shadow, which I had no idea because I only ever seen G.I. Joe once, and I would never recognize the guy.
I knew exactly who it was from the moment I saw his face.
The one thing that makes this movie stand out, first of all, the directing in the film is so good. It's just so well done and just really extremely well directed.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Amazing movie just to watch, just directing-wise. Now, the acting in the film is also some of the best acting I've seen in years in any movie. The acting in this film is just phenomenal.
Yeah, I would agree with that too. Especially for it being a Korean film where you're hearing everything in Korean and you're reading the subtitles. But the acting in it because it's so well done, you get what's going on in the film almost without the subtitles. Almost.
Yeah, that's what I was going to mention too, is the emotions in the film are so good and the acting is so good. You can just watch what's happening on the screen and you don't really even need to read it because you know what these people are going through.
But it's also kind of a downfall for the movie because you start to understand exactly what's happening and it's still trying to explain it. And it kind of, the first 20 minutes of this film or so just kind of muddles along, except for the beginning. The beginning is really exciting. And then it just kind of drags for a little while until it gets to him actually finding the serial killer. Once it hits that point, it takes off, and it's just, wow.
I thought the beginning was spectacular. Like I said, the beginning is actually what the story is about, so if you skip the beginning, you don't really know what the rest of the movie is. So you kind of have to have the beginning in there, otherwise you don't know what the rest of the film is about, and there's a lot of really important things that happen in the beginning of the film that needs to be in there.
I understand that, but what I also said was the very beginning of the film is really exciting. And then after that, it's kind of like I said, it kind of drags a little while until it gets to the point where he finally sees the serial killer.
No, the whole beginning of the film, Vince, is when the serial killer is when you basically see how evil this guy is. Getting back to the acting, the guy, I don't know who the guy's name was that played the serial killer, but he had a very innocent look to his face, and that's what was so creepy about the film. Is like, especially in the very beginning where he walks up to the woman's car and looks in the window. He looks very innocent. He's like, "Oh, hey, this is a nice-looking old guy. He's going to help me," and just switches the button, and the guy's pure evil. And I thought, wow, that's just incredible.
Yeah, okay, it's developing story, but if it had continued the way it was doing, I would have given up on the movie right away. But it didn't. And I was also watching it late at night. I mean, I was watching it like almost midnight when I started to watch it. So
maybe that is your problem, Vince, is you were watching it too late and you were half asleep. So to you, maybe it was dragging, but it actually never dragged.
I mean, now, if I was to go back and watch it now, I know what happened, so it wouldn't be as bad.
So the movie ends up becoming like this amazing action film. And like you said, at that point where he meets him for the first time, it just becomes incredible. I mean, it's like one of the best action movies I've seen in years.
Exactly, not a horror film.
Who's on first?
Well, no, it is still a horror film.
What's on second?
He goes and he meets up with those other two people. What is the guy doing, Vince?
And I don't know who's on third.
He's eating people.
You ain't saying nothing to me yet. Go ahead and tell me.
Cannibalism and eating people is not, a drama.
Who's on first? What's on second?
But that doesn't necessarily make it a horror film.
I don't know who's on third.
That's what it is. It's a Korean horror movie.
You know the guy's names on the baseball team?
Yes.
Well, go ahead. Who's on first?
It's disgusting.
Who?
The guy playing first.
It's disturbing.
Who?
The guy playing first base.
Doesn't necessarily make it a horror film.
Who?
The guy on first base.
But it's a serial killer film.
Who is on first?
It didn't scare me.
What are you asking me for? I don't know.
Well, it doesn't have to scare you.
I'm asking you who's on first.
It was disturbing,
That's his name.
Well, go ahead and tell me.
Who?
The guy on first.
but it didn't scare me.
That's it.
Did the human centipede scare you?
I ain't asking nothing.
No.
The guy playing first base.
Who is on first, Lou?
But was it a horror movie?
What are you asking me for?
It was disturbing.
What's the guy's name on first base?
Oh, no. What's on second?
Okay, let's get to the disturbing stuff here, as you're talking about. This movie, on a scale of 1 to 10, is 11 in gross. I mean, it is a really, and again, completely shocked me. I was not expecting that at all. I didn't know what to expect, but I didn't expect it to be as gross as it turned out to be. And I mean, it's really gross.
And I didn't think so.
I'm not asking you who's on second.
Who's on first?
I didn't think it was bloody, definitely bloody, and it's, like I said, disturbing and maybe even shocking. But it's not really, I didn't find it all that disgusting.
One base at a time.
Yeah, it's almost 2 hours of watching somebody be tortured, Vince. How's that not disgusting?
I'm not mixing up anybody. Now, what's the guy's name on first base?
Jason. Jason's a zombie. Jason's a big living shark. Anyone comes into his realm, he dispatches.
Whoa. Now, well, that's not whoa.
No, you go into his house and try to attack this guy, he will kill you, Vince.
He didn't go to his house. He never went into his house.
Now, how did I get on third base?
Well, actually, he did.
All right, what's the guy's name on third base?
No, what's on second?
Okay.
I didn't even mention the guy's name on third base.
Yes, you did.
Several times.
Didn't see it as a horror film.
Tell me.
Tell you what.
Didn't scare me.
Well, the fielder's name.
Why?
It didn't frighten me at all.
Who's in center field?
Now, who's on first?
You don't have to be scared by it, Vince.
I'm going to stop asking you. So I asked you, what's the first baseman's name?
A film that's not a horror movie. What do you give this movie?
It was a good movie. I'm not saying it wasn't a good movie. I'm saying that it didn't scare me. It wasn't horror to me. It was more of a bloody action thriller. So, I would give it a 4 out of 5.
So anyway, I give this movie a perfect.
Didn't see it as a horror film.
I don't give a darn.
Oh, that's our shortstop.